I'm from the
Same place as trap music, this that first react music. They can't hold me back, I'm feeling good cause I'm black music. Can't nobody touch.
Welcome everyone back to another episode of Cigar Sundays Live, where we define, examine, and analyze words, sayings, and phrases used in American culture. Tonight, y'all, we will be smoking on the word ignore. So grab your thinking caps and get ready to smoke on words with two big nerds, myself, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, and the God, Ali, Dawood L, and BK Farm. And we are the Cigarden Panel. Peace, God. How you feeling on this beautiful Sunday evening?
Peace, God. Y'all feeling pretty good, man. I've been super productive, and I've been putting my body on Front Street, right? Like, so wherever I've been needed, I've been showing the fuck up, right? Wherever I was supposed to be, like that's where I was at, God. And I'm tired, because when you work, you get tired.
You get
You
tired.
know what I'm saying? But it feels good to know that when you look in the mirror, you can see value. And when somebody calls you, you can hear value, right? And it's just love, man. So like life has been good.
That's all love. Life's been good. That's beautiful. It feels good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And I got a pregnant rabbit. Hey.
And you got a multiply. Multiplied. You got the bunnies hopping.
I got the bunnies hopping, God. I got the bunnies hopping. I needed to get help, but it's okay, right? But she good and pregnant now, so it's in about 28 more days. We had some nice little kits.
Okay.
It's gonna be nice.
How many? What they usually drop? What's on average?
On average, if you lucky, you get about 5, right? And I say lucky because that's a small enough litter for her to take care of and be good with.
Mm-hmm.
But if she got like 10, like she can drop like 10 of them things, man. And when I be seeing them at my breeders, like them joints be looking miserable. Like, man, get these kids away from me. Like it just be like a lot of so yeah, like so 4 to 5 is what you're looking for, because you can sustain that and she's gonna be healthy. But like once you start getting like 8 to 10, it's like, all right, she only got a couple more of those to go before you gotta put in a pot.
So 4 to 5, we live. About 8 to 10 is a super win.
It's a super win.
It's a super win, but then we gonna have some bunny rabbit stew.
Yeah, you gonna have some bunny rabbit stew. Hell yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. I love bunny rabbit stew. That was my favorite. My granddad used to put that rabbit in that pot, grandmama and them, with that gravy on it over some hot cakes. I'm trying to tell you.
Yo, it's crazy, God. Like,
it's
so
delicious.
My grandkids gonna be saying that about me. My granddaddy did it. My granddaddy did.
Put some, and then look, but don't tell them though. Just don't tell them. That's what they did to me. They put it on the plate, and then I sat down. I remember it because it was crazy. Because I sat down because it was almost traumatizing, but it was appetizing.
You went through a thing.
Yeah, because I'm sitting down. You sit down at the table. You eat what grandma and granddad put in front of you.
All facts.
So I'm sitting at the table. I see the hot cakes coming. Then grandmama grabbed the plate real quick and put the piece of rabbit on there. It came out the cast iron pan. It was in the gravy in the cast iron pan.
Oh, that was right. Cast iron.
So then, she scooped it up, and I ain't know what she was scooping up, but she was putting the gravy on. She said, "You want the gravy on there?" And I was like, "For sure, fine." I put the gravy on the hot cake. So smothered hot cakes, we do that. Yeah, and then, but I didn't know what the meat was. So sat down, and I'm I'm eating it, cutting my hot cakes, I'm eating it. Boom, boom, And granddad walking there, he like, "I ain't know you like bugs. I ain't know you like bugs." So I'm not getting it. I'm just
bug.
Bugs. I'm like, "Oh, what granddad talking about?" He he on one or something? What he talking about? Some bugs, right? So then he said, some wascally wabbit. And I looked at the plate and I was like, oh snap, that is a damn rabbit. You know, I ain't even, cause I had the quarter.
Yeah.
You know, I had the quarter, so I ain't know that it was. And then I looked at, and I was wondering why it had so much like cartilage. You
Mhm.
know, I didn't understand like it was tender, but you know when you biting into it, it was cartilage in it. It was
Yeah.
you pulling out little pieces, and it wasn't like chicken. I was like, I know it's not chicken, but it's hitting with the gravy and the hot
He
cakes.
said it's hit.
Yeah, and the eggs, the scrambled egg with the cheese, man, some
Yeah,
bunny
yeah.
rabbit, little gravy and hot cakes, man. I'm talking about good country living, man. They don't know about it, but everything is wonderful. Also
That's
feeling blessed, God. Got some time coming off this high. I spent me and wifey spent a whole month together,
a
from the new year on to this year. And coming down off of that. So just get back in the swing of things. And just always thankful for another day. Really looking forward to tonight's show. We are smoking on the word ignore. And y'all make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so when we go live you never miss an episode. Also, before we get into tonight's questions, head on over and pick up your copy of 1016 160 Self-Sustainability by the God. You looking at him right there, Ali Dawood El, at www.bksoulfarm.com. All right, because if you don't know what responsibility means, then how you gonna be sustainable? How you gonna sustain yourself? So get yourself together, food, clothing, and shelter, protection to that, support your interests. Y'all know how it go. And go live over there at BK Soul Farm and pick that up. Also, y'all, right now, we got $1,000 merch giveaway, $1,000 cash prize giveaway to post your DB Chef TV merch. All right. Must be 18 to participate. Gotta be a subscriber to the channel at DB Chef TV on YouTube. Take a selfie with your merch after you purchase it. Then share it. And then tell people, say, help me win $1,000 by just sharing this picture. All right. And then it just be a picture of you and your merch. Okay. And you can post it, and it's whatever you want to buy, y'all. If you want to go in there and buy a cup, if you want to go in there and buy an apron, a hat, a napkin, whatever it is, it's just a piece of DB Chef TV merch is your ticket to enter. Contest ends March 10th, 2026, Pacific time. All the instructions, read the rest right here. DM the link, and the top 3, y'all, we're going to post them across the network and shout y'all out. And also, it's going to be one winner who going to be that lucky winner to get that stack. So we appreciate y'all for doing that. Links are in the description to all of that, y'all. Links in the description to bksoulfarm.com and to the DB Chef TV gift shop to get started. All right. And you know what we say, if money's tight, it's all right. We'll love you if you just smash the like. So let's go ahead and get into tonight's questions for the word ignore. So our first question, y'all, is our house question. What do you think of when you hear the word ignore? Let us know in the live comments or in the comments below. All right. 2, what are some things that society tells us to ignore that we probably shouldn't? Anybody ever had that? Thinking like, somebody telling you to ignore something, but I probably shouldn't ignore it. Let us know. We like to know. During the show or in the comments below. 3, do cultural backgrounds shape what we're taught to ignore versus confront? Is where you from, why you acting the way you act, versus where you at. We gonna get into that. 4, is being ignored more painful than being openly criticized, and why? Do people have a problem when you just stop talking to them, or would they prefer to be criticized? And criticism can be positive or negative. So that's something that people shouldn't demonize the word criticism or criticize, being criticized. And then 5th and final, last but never least, is the word ignore, bad, good, or misunderstood. And you're gonna have to stick around to the end of the show for us to let you know. So go ahead and turn up in the comment section, y'all. And we're gonna go ahead and get to our first question tonight. What do you think of when you hear the word ignore? The God Ali Dawood and BK Soul Farm.
Peace, God.
Peace, God.
So when I think ignore, like the very first thing that comes to my head is peace of mind, right? I think about excuse me. I think about a person, place, or thing that irritates me, that I can live without, and I figure out a way to do that. Um, I also think that uh, ignoring things is a little bit of what is it? Not deflection, but when you avoidance almost, right? When you're trying to avoid a situation, trying to avoid taking responsibility or avoid being accountable, you'll just ignore your actions, or you ignore other people's actions, right? And just let it rock. Right. It's kind of like if you got a friend that you said it a while back, call them enablers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think enabling when I think of ignore as well.
Enabling, right? Yeah. That
Like
definitely is one of them things.
yeah, you put that in my head when you said that. I was like, yeah, I get that. Because normally I'm a type of person, man. I let people live, man. I let you do what you want to do, and as long as it's not, I don't deem it as a moral injustice or unhealthy or unsafe, or something that's gonna put our manhood in jeopardy. I probably won't. I'll probably just let you rock out with that joint. But if it's any of those things, I'm more than likely gonna separate myself, because if I gotta tell you to be a man, I kind of don't want to be around you. And I'm probably gonna ignore you. You know what
Probably going to ignore you. Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think avoidance. I think I see when I say avoid, I think that's both positive and negative, right? Because you could be avoiding. Um, I had a situation at work a few years ago. I had a guy that we got physical a little bit, right? And my job was almost, it wasn't almost on the line, it was on the line. Um, and this person was in the military, so they was safe. They couldn't get fired for the most part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I had to deal with this person every single day. Not deal with them, but I had to see them, be in the same space with them, I had to relate to them, and I had to figure out a way to where this person who was 100% trying to get at me, how
Mm-hmm.
do I not let them get at me? And I pretty much had to make their voice not matter to me no more. Right. I
Right.
had I had to decide if I had to work with this person, or if I didn't have to, right? And once I realized that I didn't have to, I just had to be in the same room with them, but we didn't have to interact. I
Mm-hmm.
just didn't. And once I realized that I didn't have to, for me, that person just stopped existing.
Yeah.
I didn't see him in the P ways no more. I ain't see him. I didn't hear their voice no more, right? And it just made my life a whole lot easier to get through as far as work, right? So That's why I say avoidance is both positive and negative, right? You could be running away from a thing, but at the same time, you could be maintaining your damn sanity.
Definitely trying to maintain your sanity. Definitely that.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what I think, God. I think ignore is a tricky word, right? It can
Oh no, is it tricky?
like
I don't know.
so because I say
Is
tricky
it tricky?
because I can use avoidance both positive and negative. That's why I deem it tricky. Um,
Okay.
but yeah,
Avoidance. We're gonna write that down. Avoid.
yeah,
A void. A void. ENCE. Avoidance.
yeah, yeah. That's what I got though, God. Avoid it.
Yep. So y'all, if y'all just joining us, we are answering our first questions. What do you think of when you hear the word ignore? Let us know in the chat. Turn up in the chat. Y'all get active. Um, man, what do I think of when I hear the word ignore? Well, silence is a you know, blocking something out, like you said, protecting your peace, um, your sanity. And usually when I get to that point, I've already tried like a positive level of some type of interaction, you know, and then it's just like, okay, you're incapable, whoever is on the other end. Cause like you said, telling a man to be a man, right? Like I'm an equal employee opportunist uh ignoring ignorance.
yeah.
Like I don't care. Like, because my stance is like I don't care what your gender is or any of that. Like be a good human,
Be
you
a good
know.
human.
Like that's the first, like be that first, before you leading with who you screw in or leading with your masculinity or femininity or whatever it is. Like be a desire to be a good human being first, and be fair and be considerate of others, be considerate of your own actions, be mindful of your own actions, you know unless you just are a person who just really wants, hell. Because you do to the, you mess with the wrong person, you gonna get the right thing, you know.
Every time.
So I think that's where ignoring has to come in at some point in time, and I think we'll touch on it a little bit later when we get to our other one of my other questions. Um, but that's where, to me, ignoring is somewhat of a strength, somewhat of a weakness too. I think. I think that it's still. Um, I think that it's two sides to ignoring, because, depending on what the issue is. Like if you're being antagonized, if you're being victimized, should you ignore that? You know, is that going to be beneficial? Should you just, what's that word, capitulate? Should you just, give up and say, okay, well, just do what you want to do, even if you're doing it to me,
Mm.
right? Should you do that? Or should you say, well, I'm gonna ignore you as a whole person, whoever that person is. I'm gonna ignore you as a whole person, you know, but I'm not gonna ignore the things that you're doing, because the things that you're doing are intentionally, you know, rude, you know. So so I think that at some point in time, like you have to understand what the ignore is, like how to implement it correctly, and and why you're doing it. If you're saying, like you said earlier, like your peace as far as your mental health, like I know I look real good, you know what I'm saying? And I know that you can't see disabilities from the outside, you know? And I know that that's fair for a lot of people, you know? But people don't know what you have going on in the inside. And a lot of people like to play down things. Like it's like those things like, oh, just ignore it. It's not the end of the world. Or just ignore it. It's not that serious. Or just ignore it. It's not that this or it's not that. But they don't understand, like, that you may be being affected differently, and your reaction could be, costly to yourself first and foremost. You got to keep yourself in order, but it may not be, a person may be trying to play with you, and they don't realize that, like, like you really might think that it's something minor and it's funny to you, but death is final, because you don't know how serious a person may take something, so we can't be out here playing with people like that, because we don't know how far people willing to go, because they may not be wrapped too tight, just because you see them and they look well packaged, so I think knowing what to ignore, I think that's important, because we may ignore some things that are very serious, that we should pay attention to. So, that's what I think. And I could be wrong in how I even apply ignoring things, or or if there is duality in it or not. But that's why we have the definition, and we're gonna go to that. But that's
Hell
what
yeah.
I think. That's what I think.
Hey, not to be agreeable, but it sounds good to me.
It sounds good, because they say we agree a lot, but I don't know. I don't know whoever they is. I got this saying. I'll be like, I'm the flyest cat in the room whenever you not there. Who is you? I don't know who you is, but I know who I am. You know
Every
what I'm
single
saying?
time.
So
And I'm gonna always be me.
that's right. So we just got finished answering, what do you think of when you hear the word ignore? Y'all let us know, in the comment section, what you think of when you hear the word ignore. And we're gonna go ahead and hop to this definition real quick, bring up this definition. So we are smoking on the word ignore, y'all. And we got the definition going on for the word ignore tonight, right here. Ignore. And we are pulling this from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Y'all, the link is in the description, so y'all can follow along or go check it out a little further after the show. Ignore. It is a verb. It is an action word. Okay? And it says 1A, to refuse to take notice of. To refuse to take notice of. Okay? And it says, I'm ignoring their comments. That's the example that's given. Then we see B, to do nothing about or in response to. And it says, cannot just ignore the warning signs. Cannot just ignore the warning sign. All right. And then we have 2 as a law. Ignore in law, to reject as ungrounded. Okay. A bill of indictment. All right. So that is very beneficial right there if you're dealing with the court system and they ignore the bill of indictment. I mean, the charges is getting dropped, baby. you know, you know. I mean, it has ground, legal ground to stand on. You know, so to not continue to prosecute, to prosecute. So we're just gonna deal with 1A and 1B tonight. So what you think about these right here, God? To refuse to take notice, that sounds like avoidance.
Yeah.
You know, and to do nothing about or in response to, that also sounds like avoidance.
Yeah. It does. But even but it doesn't sound terrible though, right? Like to do nothing about or in response to, like you literally, that's a choice you making.
That
That's
is a choice that I think for me it's a choice that I make. Absolutely. You know,
yeah.
yeah. If I refuse to take notice of something,
That's yeah.
then that absolutely, and if I choose to do nothing or in response to, then that is, that is a response as well. Like if I choose just to like not exchange dialogue, you know, or like just not pay anything any mind, I choose to not watch the news, you
Yeah.
know,
Fucking
or
right.
like so. I refuse to take notice of the news, like um what else was it? So who I was talking to, somebody asked me, listening to music. I was talking to another brother of ours, and they was asking me if I heard any new music
Mm.
and what new I was listening to. And I explained to them, like, like I don't follow new music, bro. Like it's too much other stuff going on in the world for me to be focused on that. I need to know for sustainability, for survival, for elevation, for advancement of the things that I desire, to be checking for somebody new record. So, that was something, and it wasn't being rude. I wasn't rude about it. I was just explaining to him that, like, the things that I'm into now at this age, I have to, I don't ignore them. I stay informed, you know. So checking for somebody new rap record, like it's just not, like that's maybe something I did as a jit because I ain't know, because I wasn't focused on,
Yeah. Certain things have more value now in our older years than they did when we was younger.
right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I'm almost here for half a century. I wasn't even supposed to make it to 18, you know?
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's crazy. Like how many of us actually had that whole thought process growing up? Like it's like a
yeah,
lot of us. Like I want to say our whole generation.
yeah. But when you was actively doing stuff too, though, like then that is a larger reason to be more thankful at this point and more proactive about not doing the same things that you used to do that even cultivated that type of mindset, you know
That's true.
because if I act like that, the music that I was listening to wasn't part of a soundtrack to my life at that point in time, I'd be lying to say I wasn't influenced, to say that I knew that gangster rappers was a profession. you know and that it's no way that you out here doing all this and doing all that and selling this and getting into this and doing that. You might be dealing with the women, in that capacity, you know because you have fame,
Yeah.
but all the other criminal stuff and all that, you're not doing that. You doing shows. That's how you getting your money. You know, you selling new music, trying to get advertisement deals and things like that. And it's just not, nowadays it's been so the script has been so flipped to where now, you know, they think that the young men and young women that's actually out here, like they feel like they got to be a real whore to actually rap the stuff, or he got to be a real gangster to actually rap the stuff. You
Gotta
know,
really murder people. Yeah.
right? So, you know, I would like to get back to the art. You know, like let's just get back to the art. You know, and then that I'm cool with that. You know, we don't need no more whores or gangsters. You know, and yeah, I'm gonna sound like an old head. You know, but
But
at
it's
the
the truth.
yeah, but I'm just like, yeah, like I'm not trying to be 18 again. I might still look young, you know, but I'm not trying to act that way. Trust me, I don't feel that way. You know,
Hell nah.
these bones is rickety.
What?
You know, but we
Man,
keep them clean though. We keep them clean. They tens, but I keep them clean. So moving to the thesaurus for the word ignore. Ignore is still a verb, and they give it to us as synonyms, as in to forget and as in to forgive.
that's so interesting.
Okay. So let's look at ignore as in forget, to fail to give proper attention to. So we fail to give proper attention to it. So we have forget, disregard, overlook, neglect, miss, reject, bypass, omit, slight, pass over, fail, slur over, overpass, disdain, brush aside or brush off, sloth, slough off, shrug off, scorn, scant, skimp, poo poo, poo poo, poo poo. That sounds like somebody's nickname. Slough, to slough off, you know. Now, we used to use this term in the military all the time, right here, sloughing off. Stones to you sloughing off like a slacker.
Yeah.
So that's to fail or to give proper attention to, you know, and that's because a person was not completing, you know, something minimal, a minimal task, a cleaning task, or, you know, not signing the logs correctly, which is serious. That's not minimal. Don't think
Super
cleaning
serious.
the toilet, you know, cleaning the head and signing a log is even the same thing. You slough off signing that, your ass getting mastered. You messing
As
up them logs.
as you should, right? Because
Yeah.
if it didn't happen in the log, it didn't happen.
Yeah, that's a record.
That's a record, bro.
Yeah, that is a legal record. So definitely I've heard that. And then, you know, of course, forget. You know, I don't think when they say ignore is to forget, I don't think it, you know, I think that this is a little bit of, this is interesting when it says to forget, because you don't really forget,
That's why I said it. I was like,
you
forget,
know.
forgive. Like those are interesting words to ignore.
Yeah, like you might disregard a little bit. You might bypass, you know,
Even overlook.
yeah, you might overlook it, just like, you know what, and you know, it's something we can get past. Like I overlook the foolishness,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I am ignoring it now, but it ain't something that, it's something to be overlooked. It's not something that can't be, you know, healed, that like I want to heal from, you know. I'm just, but you don't forget, you know, because if you forget, I think that the forgetting part reminds you of how that interaction was, and that at any given time you might see that again. You know, somebody might do that again for real. You know, so it's really hard. It's really difficult, I think, for for anybody to forget. But let's see what forgive is. Let's see how they
So
get
hold
to
on,
it.
yo, God, click on scoring real quick. Like, what the hell does scoring mean? Like, I thought, like in reference to forget. Like,
Scorn in reference to forget, where we at? Okay, let's check on it.
'cause I'm thinking scoring is like as a contempt. Yeah.
Disdain, despise. Woo, woo. Betray war stories. Outlaws on the rise, jealous. I despise. Look in my eyes. Can you mind picture?
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
Open dislike for someone or something considered unworthy of one's concern or respect. You know?
Unworthy of concern, so you can forget
Yeah.
them. You can not pay attention to them.
Yeah. You cannot respect them.
You cannot respect them.
You know, and my thing, you know, when I see this right here, when I be like, it's okay for somebody to be scorned, right? Because a lot of times people are scorned when they are the antagonists, you know, like most people are scorned when they haven't accepted responsibility for their initial actions,
They hit
right?
first. Yeah.
Right. So then now they want to be a victim, right? And they say shit like, you know, well, I ain't gonna respect you, but I'll be like, you don't have to respect me in those situations, but respect the rules that are for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need your respect at all. You know, like I don't need nothing from. I can ignore you, and you can ignore me, and life will just. And I trust me, my life is gonna be fantastic because I ain't missed a bump. I ain't missed nothing yet, baby. You know what I'm saying? But you know, but I think that that's what people don't fully comprehend, like, you know, because people always want to make something extra personal, you know, and then they really suckers. They not trying to crash out, you know what I'm saying? So like,
Correct.
yeah, like, and if you're not a coward, then you're gonna actually confront the person to try to get resolve or to fight, whichever one you want to do.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, like you either going to confront the person and get resolved and have a conversation, you know, to exchange dialogue, you know, respectful dialogue, and you know, or you trying to crash, you know. So that's the only way I've ever seen it. You know, I don't know it. I don't know what the new generation is doing, you know, but in my world of worlds, you know, I respect that. Like I respect the rules. We don't gotta like each other. You know what I'm saying? But if I didn't make the rules and you didn't make the rules, then I mean they apply to both of us.
Facts.
You know? So then we have synonyms of ignore as in to forgive. All right. So then it says to dismiss as of little importance.
That's forgive to dismiss as of little importance.
As of little importance. And I think, and you know what, and I agree with that though, God, because like if you're gonna forgive, right?
Oh, the movie is.
Then you have to dismiss something as little importance. Because if not, then you scorn, then you holding it personal.
Yeah, you got a grudge and shit, right?
You got a grudge. Yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
You know, so that's the only way that, like, you know, you have to dismiss it. Like, it ain't that serious. See, that's why I said, like, people with character can apologize. People with real character can apologize. Even if they not wrong, even if they weren't wrong initially.
That's true.
And they can dismiss things that they know that they was disrespected, or, you know, targeted or whatever. They can do that. You know, they can say, you know what, I forgive you. You know, like I'm not, for one, I'm not gonna carry negative energy around about a person that doesn't matter, a person that don't stop nothing that you got going on. Like that's how significant That's how little of importance it is. So I think that people don't realize that that's what they're doing when they do forgive. Because like if you forgive, right, it doesn't matter anymore. It's what are we doing going forward? And everybody does this. Everybody does this in any relationship, professional, personal, social. You know, if you forgive, then you just moving forward. Okay, so what are we doing moving forward? What does moving forward look like?
Yeah.
You know, we're not gonna sweat the little stuff. That's deemed little stuff.
Mm. Mm. I guess that's the hard part, right? Like that because that's deemed little stuff. Like, because when I see forgive, I think about pain and suffering.
I mean, I think we got that from the Bible.
Which
You know, I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. If
is
we,
so fucked up because they
yeah,
traumatized this guy.
because of Jesus's suffering and pain and forgiveness and all that, all that stuff. I think that's where we got it from first. That was our first introduction to it. To forgive for the sufferings. Like
Yeah.
and all that for your sins and all that stuff. And that's why Jesus had to get beat on the cross and had to drag across, get nails in his hands and knees and feet and forehead, thorns, and so like all of that is tied into that whole
Suffering
mindset of what forgive is, when it in the dictionary is just simply as in relation to ignoring something. Like, yeah, like it's a little importance, man. Like you get over it.
Yo, and not for nothing, when you put it on baby Jesus though, right? Um, to go through the carrying your cross and the nails and the stabbing in the sides and the actual being crucified and up there with the thieves and all that.
Right.
Um, all of that would be of little importance because the important thing is him actually dying for your sins, right?
Yeah.
So all those things would be of little importance, and that's a big pill to swallow, bro. Like you just gotta make all that stuff that just happened, just little stuff. Thank you for dying for my sins. Now I get to go to heaven. That's serious.
You know.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. Like we told my words have meanings at my job. I'm like, man, but y'all don't read definitions though.
Right. And that's the thing.
Like, y'all don't read the definitions.
People not interested in the definitions. They more comfortable with the meaning, and it's more, and the thing about it is everybody has these applied meanings that they have, come to agree with in their own brain.
Yeah.
So there is no, there is no what do you call it? Like a measuring stick. There is nothing that we can go back to say, okay, well, let's look at the definition. Are we applying this as it's meant, or do you have an interpretation and I have an interpretation, and that's why our communication is falling apart? Because you interpret it as this for your meaning, I interpret it as this as my meaning, and now we having a conflict. We're unable to communicate effectively because nobody has the clear and correct definition of how we should be even applied. But we got plenty of feelings though.
And consideration takes care of all of this because everything you just got finished saying was just consideration. Considering the fact that we might be in different places and might have understood the same thing differently, let's take a beat and figure out where we went off and let's get back on the same page if we can. That's just consideration, a little maturity.
But that big thing right there, maturity. You need two people that are mature.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you need two people that are able to what I see right here is one of those words is rationalize,
Yeah.
you know. And you can't do that when people are overly filled with emotion, holding grudges, um, not able to acknowledge their wrongdoing, you know. Because if I act like yeah I did some shit and I don't care, like then wear that then, you know. Like say that when you tell the whole story,
Mm-hmm.
tell how foul you are too,
Correct.
you know. Like tell all your foulness, tell all of the things that you tried to that you wanted to throw rocks and hide your hand with, you know. Because then that's fair. Then that doesn't try to uh, make it look like you a victim when you're an antagonizer.
A full participant.
Yeah, that you actively that actually you want the war. You just don't really want a war though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you more so just want attention because you starving for that. You know, so and that lacks integrity. You know, that's where and then maturity comes in with people who lack integrity. A lack of maturity comes in with people that lack integrity.
Yeah.
You know, so we have ignore as in forgive, and the synonyms are forgive, overlook, explain, disregard, justify, excuse, pardon, condone, forgive and forget, discount, pass over, whitewash, remit, brush aside or off, shrug off, gloss over, paper over, blink at, wink at, rationalize, overpass, gloze over, close one's eyes to, vindicate, waive, exonerate, absolve, exculpate, acquit, waive, or clear. Any of those you want to touch on, God?
I think we just did it, God. I think what's not written on here is what we you and I both said is maturity. Right? Like that's the overall theme that I'm getting from from that list right there. That forgive list more especially, right? Because as you was reading, as you was talking, I was like, man, but I'm a grudge holder, right? I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get better, right? Um, but it's like I be wanting to feel that feeling, right? I be wanting to hold on to that feeling. It's like, why, right? Like you just want to be mad unless you want
Yeah, and that's why I don't
to.
hold grudges
I
because for one, I don't want to be mad.
don't
You
want to be
know,
mad.
I don't need a reason to be mad. You know, um, and
Yeah.
also like I don't like negative energy anyway. You know, my thing, just like God, but we both have slogans here. Support your interests and live. Nothing about that is holding a grudge and being negative.
Oh no, that's true.
You know what I mean? Peaceful, positive, and productive in any order. You know, nothing about that is being negative. That doesn't mean that it's going to be some things that happen because life happen. You can't control what other people do. You can only control what you do. You know? So like I ain't just popping this shit for the internet.
Yeah.
Like that's really what I'm on in real life. That don't mean that I may not have a moment, okay? But I'm not a coward. So I'll admit to my moments, you know? I'll admit when I'm wrong because the only person who was perfect was Jesus, right? So if that's the only person who was perfect, then a player gonna fuck up. A player gonna make mistakes. And I ain't talking about playing on no women, cause
Correct.
I love my wife. I'm talking about a player in this thing we call life, on our way to death, cause everybody gonna die. You guaranteed that, you know. So it's no need to hold grudges because that's some negative energy. You know, What if you wake up one morning? What, you know, we at that age where, bro, you wake up and you slept wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like you slept wrong, bro. So like your whole neck and back and everything, like I'm a disabled vet, bro. Like I can't even cut my front yard and my backyard in the same day.
Dog,
You know what I'm saying? So like if I go cut the front yard, brother, like I'm down. I might be down for like 2 days after I cut the front yard. So
dog.
do you think I need my mental to be negative on some shit? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need my body already hurting. You know, like I don't need my mental to, at least with my body hurting, I want to be in a positive place in my mind. So definitely me holding a grudge about another human, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna let nobody have that much control over me.
And that's why I practice ignoring, because I am a grudge holder. Like I don't want to be, right? I'm working on it. The reality is, you scoring me, I'm gonna remember forever. Right? Like it's just how it's gonna go. But in all fairness, though, like those, like this is important, because I do ignore, and I do choose to ignore to protect my peace, right? And that peace I'm protecting is, I don't want to hold grudges, right? I don't want to walk around with that negativity, and I don't want to be angry. Like you said, we don't need reasons to be, angry,
I don't
right? This,
need reason to be
like,
angry because what the problem is that you'll end up taking that anger out on somebody else and not even know it.
and completely, and they don't even deserve it for the most part.
And they might not even deserve it. And that's
Yeah,
because you're carrying an evil spirit with you. You're carrying negative energy,
just wait for somebody to unload on.
waiting for somebody to unload on, you know.
Yeah,
Now some people just, you know, and I just think most of them people, man, that's like that, I think that they really just be capping. I just think that they hurt inside. So they don't love themselves. You know, like it's something that they dislike about themselves, you know. So because it's something that they feel that they are deficient in or they don't like about themselves, then they just, you know, then they seek drama, you know. And that's sad. You know, that's sad. That's real sad for all those people. But then also I had this thing too, God, where I was like, you know, shout out to all special needs humans. You know, God made you special. So it's our job to give you that attention, to make sure that you have all the tools and everything you need to be the best versions of yourself. All right. But um there used to be a time where people would call people with special needs retarded, right?
yeah.
And now that word has gotten, you know, like when you applying it in that manner, you know, it's disrespectful, it's rude. But I'm here to let all the special needs people know that I love and care about. I found the retards, and it's not y'all.
Hell nah.
It's the people. It's the people who do the same thing over and expect to get a different result.
Hell
Those
yeah.
are the retards, you know. And I think culturally we need to start calling them people retarded.
I
You
think we
know,
did, and the culture told us to stop, because people don't read definitions, and they apply different meanings, and they was like, oh, you're talking about special needs people. Like, no, dummy, we talking about you, right?
yeah. We
We ain't talking about
definitely not
somebody
talking
that
about.
we ain't talking about somebody that's in a helmet already, right?
Nah.
What is there to talk about that person? Like you help that person if you need to, right? But you don't talk about your dumb ass with the suit and tie on, that's up there, cooning and buffooning and tap dancing and shit, right? Like
Yeah.
I do gotta think about I don't even know if I can ask this question legally, right?
Can you ask the question legally? Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. We gonna get to the guy Ali Dabodel's legal question real quick, y'all. We got ignore as a verb: to refuse, to take notice, and B, to do nothing about or in response to, 2, a law to reject a bill of indictment as ungrounded. And that is the definition of the word ignore, y'all. Okay? So, let us know what y'all think about the definition of the word ignore. And let's get to your question, God. Can't do the question that you want to ask. Is it a legal question? I don't know.
Yeah,
Do we
right.
need counsel? Do we need to consult an attorney,
Nah,
a
this might just,
esquire?
this might just be an Aliism, right? So you touched on retarded just now, right? And something I've been thinking about for like the last few weeks. We have touched on we've expanded our awareness, our acceptance, our understanding of people on the spectrum, right? We've even expanded what on the spectrum is or even looks like, right? So much so that it's almost says it's almost super normal for people on the spectrum to be considered regular old people like everybody else, right? Like they're not the onesie twosies the way that we used to think they were back in the 80s and 90s. It's now is a lot of us all mixed up together. So my question is, and I'm asking this question for a reason. Are they,
Ask the question. Ask the damn question. That's a whole lot of preface for the question, but go
yo,
ahead,
are
guys.
they regular enough so we can start clowning their ass? Like, are they in society enough, normalized enough to where if somebody on the spectrum is clowning you, do you got to be the bigger person and just laugh at that, or can you give it back to their punk ass?
Man, I just say give it back, or it's how you feeling that day, you know.
Because I mean, it's all
So,
to be in jokes, right? So it's not like I take it offensively.
well, you never know how it presents itself, you know.
Mm,
You never know how it presents itself because you may be serious about something but not rude, right?
yeah,
And then you get insulted and you just like, okay, well, how about if I insult you back? Like would you, because I wasn't being rude, you know? So how would you like that? Oh, now you a victim. Now you feel bad. But you took it there and then couldn't dish what you gave out. You see? So you have this going on
mm,
in where people be playing victim, you know, and it's a lack of account. I think what you're talking about, guy, is the lack of accountability. So I say, if people are gonna lack integrity and lack being accountable, you know, then the only people they're gonna be able to get to be on their side is either the people that's cowards with them, all right, or somebody they suckered into believing they bullshit because they lying to them too. That's it, you know. But how I'm rolling, the spirits that I'm rolling with, the ancestors that I'm rolling with,
roast their ass back.
yeah, roast their ass back. You know what I'm
Roast their.
saying? Ain't no weapon formed against me gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't
'Cause that's
scared. I ain't scared to die. You know,
'cause that's what
but
I was thinking, right? Like I was thinking, like if again, right, to normalize everything and normalize everybody, right? Yeah, we call them, they're style special needs. Um, but again, they're so normal. They're so it's not so special anymore, right? Like it's not that little
that's
one.
not special needs. Special needs are people that were born from babies
Yeah,
that the universe put here, that God sent, the stork dropped them off like that,
special.
right?
Yeah.
So they just require that attention, that special attention to help them to give them the tools and resources necessary so they can develop, right? When you have people that are functioning as adults,
Hmm.
that are old as adults, right? Demand or desire to be treated as such, but then don't conduct themselves, That's the retards. Yeah, like that.
Okay, so equal
Yeah.
opportunity roasting. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
that's the
Hell yeah.
retards right there. Because like how you gonna how you know like that's like how I want to be considered a taxpayer, a law abiding citizen, but I'm a criminal.
Yeah. About right.
How?
Got you. Yeah, it wasn't an illegal question. Good job.
You know, I try. Thank you. You know, I might know a little bit of shit. You know what I'm saying? I only been upright. I only been upright for about 49. You know what I'm saying? Well, when you start walking, I don't know when they broke my leg when I was born. So I don't know. I had a late start. I had to hop. I had to crawl with a limp.
Right.
You know, but let's go ahead and jump into this second question. What are some things that society tells us to ignore that we probably shouldn't? Let us know in the chat. What are some things that society tells us to ignore that we probably shouldn't? Help us out in the chat, y'all. What's some things y'all heard?
Recent news, fake news. We heard
Fake news.
that's I think that's the I feel like that's the first blatant time that I've heard somebody say like ignore the news, like they're lying to you or it's like fake news. Like that was to me, I feel like that was like a from a government leader perspective, I feel like that was like my first time hearing something like that to somebody saying obviously ignore this, they're lying to you kind of thing.
You
Uh,
talking about the commander in chief? What did
yeah,
how he said?
about the fake
CNN, CBS, MSN, they're all fake news. They're horrible news sources.
horrible news.
Horrible news sources. Fake news.
Right.
I can't even do his voice. I'm glad.
Not for real. And more so today, ICE and police brutality, right?
But do you
Um,
know that ICE is brutalizing the police though? You ain't know that though.
oh yeah, I did. That's what I'm saying,
Man,
right?
it is
Like
crazy. ICE
ICE
is just
ICE but
above all.
everybody. Everybody, bro. Right? And they just like and they just tell you to forget about these things, tell you ignore these things, they tell you that these things are not happening, they tell you that these things are isolated incidences. And because people practice debating, right? They practice logical fallacies. They practice how to win arguments, right? Um, they make you think
They practice how to win arguments. Damn.
because it don't have to be right or wrong or something that they agree with or not, right? They just need to win in debates, right?
They don't need to solve anything.
No solving.
It
It's just
is you know what that is, God? That's trying to be loud. And I just recently saw I saw a clip that I was when I was scrolling, and they explained that in just a little quick gist.
Mhm.
Um, they were saying that how people who are insecure about their communication, who
Mhm.
lack the ability to effectively communicate, they think that being loud makes them right.
Mm.
So they don't possess the ability to be able to one be accountable, be rational, be logical about things. So they think that the loudness of their argument makes them right.
Mm.
And if you back down from it, then in their brain they think they won. They was loud and wrong as a motherfucker.
So if you don't match their loudness,
But if you don't match their loudness, then they won. You know. And yeah, and I was like, oh wow, that's what that was. I didn't know. But see, for me, like I didn't know that that's what that is, like diagnosis wise, or scientific or philosophical or
I
whatever
just
the
thought they
fuck,
was
right?
excited.
Right, because I'm, melanated, I'm like, okay, I understand that, black people are passionate about things,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but I know when a deflection happens, okay? So like if you doing that, if we having a conversation, all right, and then you start to get loud, all right, as long as you're staying on subject, I'm not gonna get loud because your subject, I understand they passionate about what they saying on the subject,
Correct.
okay? But the minute you start to get disrespectful, all right, and get off topic, the minute you start calling names or anything like that, then now I'm gonna know you don't give a shit about, a
Anything.
solution to what was on the table. Right. So now I'm like, I might entertain you, you know. So if we standing there yelling at each other, then I already know like this shit is just going nowhere because, you know, like cause you stupid, you know what I'm saying, clearly. And I'm never gonna waste my time doing this. Like you just, like you may not value my time, but I value my time. You know,
100%.
you may not value your own time because you think you got time to waste, you know, but I don't. It took me a whole lot to get here. It took a whole lot of trying, you know what I'm saying?
You ain't
So,
lying.
I'm not gonna waste my time on no bum. That's how I'm feeling about it,
Yeah.
because that's bum activity, you know what I'm saying? Because winners try to figure out how we gonna keep winning, like how we make this thing winning. And even if you introducing things to a person in that situation where you're, where you saying like you a winner, like act like it, you know, but you don't acknowledge that you are a winner, then you think you a loser. That's why you do loser shit.
That's why you do loser shit. Yeah. Now I got those are things I can think of off the top of my head that we've been told to ignore, that society's told us to ignore. That's not debatable, right? Because we've been told to ignore slavery, ignore Jim Crow, ignore everything that happened to black people in this country, ignore. Hell, we've been told to ignore a lot of things that just keep coming back around that we don't have to ignore when they happen to other people, right? That's why I say like the whole ICE thing, like to me that's so profound because they're not, from my perspective, they're not doing much different than what the complaints against the police have been for years, right? The blatant misuse, and it's like, yo, we you only get to fuck the police when somebody say, yo, that cop is bad, and you got cops defending that cop, and now we can't say that this person's character or this person's action is bad because it means I'm talking about all of y'all. Like that's dangerous because you guys got badges and guns and the right to kill me for disagreeing, and you might do that, or you might get fired from your job or quit and go over to ICE where they looking for people to do stuff like that apparently.
You think that's a prerequisite for ICE?
I don't. So I
I,
didn't in the past,
yeah.
right? Because I know a couple people that are retired immigration officers, right? And they didn't carry themselves like that, right? When they were ICE agents, I didn't feel like they was even police for real.
Well, ICE is different now. They got a new mission. They got a new assignment.
like
They
like
got a new assignment now. That was that was
like
probably that was probably pre 2020. Before the whole.
yeah.
So yeah.
Like now it's like I don't even think we need police anymore. I think we just need ICE. And
Oh
and
no, no, no,
like I
no,
think
we don't.
they
No, we
policing the
don't.
police. They policing everything, right?
No.
Like
No, we need all the good law enforcement that's still out there too. The sheriff's department and I know you're feeling on it, but you know what I'm saying? I
yo,
still think that it's good. It's good men and women in uniform that are valuable, but ICE do seem like they have a, like we should, I wish,
like all the Proud Boys went to ICE. Like
I wish they'll I wish one of them guys, Drewski or Desi Banks or somebody will make a ICE recruitment ad. You know what I'm saying?
They scared.
And they just like, you like to whoop ass? Anybody's ass.
Everybody's ass.
Everybody's ass. You can
All
even whoop the police ass. Did something happen to you when you was a kid? You can get your get back.
That's what I'm saying, God.
For
like
real.
These fools are the police's police, right? Like all of a sudden we don't need IA no more. You just need the ICE.
It's crazy though. I've been watching it in Minneapolis. There is something to see for real. Every now and then, like I ain't tuning into that shit every day though, but it's unfortunate. But
yeah, that's what I got. That's what I think society's told us to ignore. That's real, I think.
That's real. Yeah. If you just joined us, y'all, we are answering our second question of the evening. What are some things that society tells us to ignore that we probably shouldn't? Let us know what you think in the live chat or in the comment section below. Man, some things that society tells us to ignore that we shouldn't.
Oh, I forgot one. Body cams. They tell us to ignore the body cams, even though we looking at them.
Do they say that? That's why. That's odd.
Yeah,
that's odd. It's so crazy because I'm trying to, that you kind of has stole my number one with the whole fake news. But I'll just go ahead. You know what? I'll just piggyback on that. The fake news thing. I was like, damn.
That's huge, right?
I was like I don't really pay attention to the news anyway. So, and it's crazy because like even where I live, I just looked at the news the other day and it was like, oh shit, we got a killer on the loose. We got somebody, they got a whole manhunt going on. I'm like,
yo, you ain't lying, God.
I'm like, damn.
I watched this times. I'm like, that's going on. That's around the corner. That's going.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, we got a whole somebody done caught 2 bodies and they still out here, gingerbread man out here. I'm like, damn. So, I was like, maybe I should watch the news a little bit, at least the local news, find out, because I ain't know that much shit was popping, And I'm like, shoot, I could have aided and abetted. I could have came out the store or something. They've been like, bro, can I get like $5? I'm trying to get across town or something. I'd be like, here you go, bro. Like I just gave $5 to the dude that just shot 4-5 people in the popo looking for him. I could have called and got the goddamn reward.
You ain't lying.
They got 50,000 on this head. I take that.
And I would do that shit so damn fast. Like we ain't. Like,
I ain't in the streets. I'm a civilian.
I ain't in the streets, and he ain't my friend.
Yeah, like,
right. You got these cats turning in their friends that they do crimes with.
Yeah.
Right.
I heard of that though. And I heard that works if tell your family to turn down. There's some game. You should encourage your family not to commit crime first. I'll preface it with that. But if so happen, all of the teachings and wisdom that you tried to give, they just hard-headed, make a soft ass, they don't want to listen. Then when they ass got a warrant or a bounty out on for them, then turn them in and get it. So that way you can help put some money on their books while they ass locked up. Just something I know some people that did back in the day, and I was like, oh wow, okay. That's how you did that.
Yo, man, I'm anti-criminality. I'm anti people taking from other people, right? If you need money, get a job,
Get a job,
start
right?
a business, take out a loan, um, sell some blood,
Sell some
right?
blood, right? Some
Right?
plasma, sell it.
Plasma, like don't like there's like criminals, like we got that from the plantation,
We got
right?
that from the plantation,
Right,
right?
like that criminality that we got going on, that whole I'm good on all
I'm just gonna flip this right quick, and I'm just gonna
that.
like, nah, no, you not. No, you
No, you're
not.
not. God, no, you're
No,
not.
you not. Cause somebody gonna be like, and
Hmm.
then you're gonna be like, damn, now I gotta go do this, and then I gotta go do, and then somebody else gonna be like, and then you gonna,
And
and then you,
now you got
and
to
then you
start
got,
all over again.
then you got to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep
Now
going
you
and
need
keep
another
going.
lick. Now you need another
You
lick,
know,
and
and
another
then
lick, and another lick.
next thing you know, you being indicted, getting hit with the RICO.
Saying some bullshit. I had to do what I had to do to do what I had to do. Like, nah.
And then all them people you say that you was doing it, that you cared about,
Yeah,
are now so busy and they trying to provide for themselves. They was taking your money while you was willing to give it,
correct.
but now they gotta go work. So now you gotta do that. You gotta do that on your own. You gotta do that time by yourself now.
Yeah,
Somebody might be able to send you a couple bucks,
every once in a while.
you know, but inflation is still inflating.
Oh yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah.
So while you went to jail,
With no
eggs went up
bills. With no
with no
bills.
bill, with three hots and a cot, right? Eggs went up out here on this side in the real world and free world.
In the free world.
No, where nothing is free. Don't ignore it. don't ignore it. Don't ignore your future. Or the things that you do. So, our third question: do cultural backgrounds shape what we're taught to ignore versus confront? Let us know in the chat, y'all, or in the comments below. Do cultural backgrounds shape what we are taught to ignore versus confront?
100%. I think the most recent example of that is the whole the controversy around the critical race theory or whatever, being taught in schools or not being taught in schools, or if it's mentioned in the Project 2025. If what does critical race theory mean? Does it teach about the history of people in or classifications, or does it just make white people feel bad for the things that white people did? But not these white people, but their ancestors long, 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 long time ago. Right. So that showed me that if we can have that kind of thought process today and things are still not well, I can only imagine what the thought process was when it was like real deal in these streets, right? Um,
When Jim Crow was,
you know what I'm
when
saying?
Jim Crow was,
Was crowing,
was
was crowing.
crowing, when Jim Crow was crowing, what did a crow say? Crows croak or something, don't they?
Right? Because while a lot of Caucasians, I think is the politically correct term, can say my ancestors didn't own slaves. We weren't slave masters. Your ancestors watched slavery happen and didn't say a damn thing to stop it, right? They participated in the commerce. They did everything, right? They just ignored it and was like, "Yo, just don't go over there." Right? I had a guy
Just ignore it.
I had a guy on my job um uh, 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 uh for the sake of our relationship, he became an elder to me because I valued his conversation. Right? Older white guy, was born in 19, I want to say he was born in 1935 or some shit like that, right? Like some long, 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 long time ago. And he had he what I liked about him, he told you the truth, right? Unabashedly. And it could have been because of his age, and he was like, "Yo, I'm just too old to lie," or maybe I don't respect you, young man, enough to lie to you. So I'm gonna just be honest. Um, Getting his perspective on Jim Crow from his household, getting his perspective or the understanding of segregation and desegregation, right? And from his mouth to my ears, he was like, "Yeah, like we were told certain things. We were. It was. So yeah, clearly, right? Like your culture could definitely shape what you ignore, what you focus on. Um, right? What did JD Vance say? We don't have to apologize for being white no more.
Is that what he said?
Right?
Is that what he said?
That's what I heard him say. Like I didn't catch the full context of why he was saying it. Um, but I thought it was wild, right? Because I'm like, when did you ever like whoever asked you to do that in the first place? Um, and like, where's that conversation being had at? Right. So that's to me that sounds like a cultural thing. That somebody's having this thing where like, oh, we gotta tiptoe because we're white. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's like, so yeah, I definitely think that cultures play a part in that. Um, you know, growing up being young, before I matured, it was 100% the white man's fault for everything. Right. You let the God Ali tell it, bro. Like the white man made the sun hot, right? Like it's his fault, right? Like he did every goddamn thing. To
Some stuff is legitimate though, as far as the conditions that were created and the traumas and effects, the residuals
Oh,
and
nah, everything I was saying,
yeah,
I don't step away from.
yeah,
I do have a broader perspective now, right? I see where my actions or lack thereof plays a major role in my life,
absolutely.
and how much that white man does not,
Or
right?
any other
or
man.
any other man, right? It's
Yeah.
like,
Or any
right,
other
like
man. Like
it's 100% me, right? I only have 100% control over myself, right? And that took maturity. And once I realized that, I was able to realize that the only white man that I really needed to put down was the one that was running around in my brain, making me think other than myself, right? And that the one that was making me fall for standards from the TV and from the music and everything, making me think that lifestyle was a life. I mean, I guess it could be for some people, but it wasn't my kind of thing. And it just took some maturity to realize that we just gotta be better, man. We just gotta make better choices. So yeah, I definitely think that cultures help shape what you ignore, what you put your focus on, big time.
absolutely, absolutely, God. Y'all just joining us, y'all. Make sure to smash that like button. We are answering our third question. Do cultural backgrounds shape what we're taught to ignore versus confront? And I definitely think that cultural backgrounds have a big influence because everybody is raised different. And because we are raised different, you know, I get why people say, well, I'm from here and I'm from here and I'm from here. What I don't like about it is because that always allows for people to put you in a box, to put you in a category. And I'm so sick of us doing that to each other already. Like we already have to check this box of are you this, are you that, are you this, are you that? And then folks always will put you in a box where it's like, oh, well, where you from? So,
They put
okay,
me in a smaller box.
yeah, so now you want to put me in this smaller box and you want to group me with your own past experience. You don't want to get a chance to know me and find out if I'm really a piece of shit or not. You know, like you might have met somebody from the same place and had a horrible experience, but their background may have been different, and that's why they ignored things the way they ignored in y'all's experience and didn't address, you know, the conflict in a way that would be uh of resolve, you know, for both parties. So you have to realize that one thing you said, like maturity, you know, it takes that and that desire to do that, to want to be a problem solver. Because a lot of times people grow up with a lot of dependencies. You know, I always say, like, you know, some grown men still be on the tit, you know.
Yep.
And the way I look at it is, the way I put it is, it's like, okay, it's okay if it's family economics. Okay. That's no problem. Like, that's a village mentality. That's we saving up because you gonna buy this and I'm gonna buy that and we gonna, you know, or you have a elder parent, you know, that is staying home watching the kids, and the parents are going to work, you know, the mother, the father, they're going to work, and the elder parent is, you know, I see that in a lot of in like the Indian community. I see that most commonly with the elders, you know, they already work, they retired or whatever. Then the husband, the wife, they going to work, you know, and then the youth is getting that guidance, that elderly guidance, you know, that discernment of right from wrong, you know. So I've seen that right there, and I'm like, then it's a difference where, like, if you grown and it's mama, like, I need mama to keep shit in line, because, you know what I'm saying, I'm making bad decisions. I'm making bad dick decisions.
Okay. That's what it comes down to, right?
Yeah, for real. Like, that's just really what it is.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can't blame the children, you know, but you have to blame yourself. You did it, right? So I think that we see this more often, and that is a root cause of, like, these cultural things, and, like, these things continuing to happen over and over and over and over again, and, like, nobody is stepping up, like, nah, I'm gonna break the cycle, like, I'm not gonna, you know. And we see so much pushback from, like, oh, you think you better than us? So it's funny when your family say you think you better than us, when it's like, when it's like, I'm coming from the same place. I just want to do something different. Like, I don't agree with, I've been exposed to something, and I've seen that we can do something better. Like, so I'm just trying to be a better version of that for me first, and then y'all will don't be so quick to judge. Let me go do what I'm doing. All right. And then you'll see. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll still be stuck in your raggedy ass mindset. Who knows? But I'm still going to share with you, because guess what? I still have, I didn't pick you. You know, we family. Somebody got had, or, you know, I mean, people bring bullshit home all the time. You know, that's just, you know, people pick bad. That's life. It happens. That's those living lessons, those experiences. All right. We have friends that we no longer had, culturally. So I'm definitely agreeing that, yes, cultural backgrounds do shape on what we taught to ignore versus confront. And it'll be a lot better if, you know, that if there was some standard that was just like, that could be implemented, you know, because it's just shooting from the hip.
Like the Bill of Rights,
Yeah, like
like the Constitution.
it's just shooting from the hip out here. Like nobody's really focused on a certain thing. Even when we talk about these words, like the definition of them and the meanings, like that's still just the shoot from the hip. Like,
Yeah.
well, that ain't what it mean to me. Okay, well, if it don't, well, okay, that's cool. But what does it mean to you? Well, why you need to know all that? Well, okay. So now what I understand is that you're disagreeable. You know, you're irrational, emotional, and you don't have the ability to communicate effectively, or you want to dance, or you want somebody to beg your ass to be civil, you know. So you could do that with some people, but everybody don't have the patience and tolerance,
Yeah.
you know, to be begging somebody that, you know, they may deem as, you know what, you're not that important at all, you know, you're actually not that significant. So I'm definitely not going to beg you for shit, like, at all. um but I think that that upbringing, you know, that upbringing is what people still hold on to. And that's why I say, like, that asking you where you from, you know, like, fuck where you from, man. It's where you at and where you going. Because if you were stuck where you from, then you probably still could be doing the same things, or would be doing the same things that you was doing of where you from. But when you're in a new environment, you know, it causes for a new you, because you're in a new environment. So you can choose to be a better version of yourself, or you can say, or you can look yourself in the mirror and say, well, they can't take the nigga out. They could take the nigga out the hood, but they can't take the nigga out of me. Right?
Still nigga.
You know,
Crazy.
for real. Because one thing I would never be is a proud nigga. I'll never
Man.
be a proud nigga for nobody. You know, I'm gonna be a man first, always,
Always.
and that's it. You know. So at one point in time in my life, yeah, that was valuable. You know, I value being a real nigga. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is a real nigga? Somebody let me know in the comment section. What the fuck is a real nigga? Sound like somebody really on their way to jail or death. Sound like somebody stuck on their mama titty. Sound like somebody ain't trying to elevate, ain't trying to be better versions of themselves. Sound like somebody who is actually allowing a word that was used to defamate them,
Really define them.
define them.
Crazy.
You know, but be what the fuck you want to be, like, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's two sides of the coin with me, man. Be what you want to be. You want to be a piece of shit, man, be a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna love your piece of shit ass. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna ignore you though.
But I'm gonna ignore you.
I'm
Absolutely.
gonna ignore.
You know, moving on to our fourth question, y'all. Let us know what y'all think in the comment section. Do cultural backgrounds shape what we're taught to ignore versus confront? Number 4, is being ignored more painful than being openly criticized, and why?
So for me, that question, I'm making the assumption that the person that's criticizing or ignoring is somebody of value. All right. So I'm gonna say that it hurts more to be ignored. I would much rather know um how you feel. Like what's in your head. Like I rather have a conversation than to think that you're on my team or to think that you co-sign something that you don't think I should be doing. Right. I would much rather hear that. If you was to just sit and watch me do something that you know I probably shouldn't be doing or you don't want me to be doing or it's gonna be harmful to me, but you're just gonna like, they can't get much more painful than that. Like I think I'm about to get really hurt or die. Right. So I always choose the critique. Um and then I discern whether I whether you're valuable to me or not, right? Because if you're valuable to me, then it's critique. If you're not, then I'm going to ignore you because it's just easier for me. Um, yeah, I prefer the critique, bro. I like it. It could be, I'm a control freak. I don't know. Like I like to know things.
Critique,
It's
control freak. Okay.
I like to know things. I like to be as aware or as prepared as I can be, right? Not fully, but as much as I can be. I would not like to be taken off guard, right? Um, so yeah, I think it hurts more to be ignored.
That's tough, man. That's tough. Um, damn. After the way you answered that, except for the critique,
Mhm.
you know, it's a tough one for me, guy, because I'm like, when you put it in the context of being ignored if we're on a team, okay? If we're on a team, that means we're working together. If we are friends or family, you know, then you may value the relationship that you have. So, so being ignored is like bothering you because you want to get resolved, you know. But um I would rather be critiqued. I don't mind being ignored. And one thing I have to say that I have to just go ahead and put it, we laugh and we do this shit right off top of the dome and we share our own personal experiences. So like I have a situation right now, like with a podcast where we had a podcast going and the person who was doing the podcast is just ignoring me. Right. They stopped doing the podcast, like didn't really let me know nothing of why, you know, and then now they just ignore me. So in that situation, I would have rather been critiqued,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
you know. I
Yeah.
would I would because leaving it to be like, well, but it didn't hurt, you know. It just was just like, damn, like you could have told me whatever was up. Like you could have said what was ever on your mind. Like even if it was like, you know, I don't like this shit, blah blah blah. Like I don't like what you got going on. I don't, like whatever. You could have said whatever. Because see, I'm open to communication always. I'm never looking at how something is being said. I'm looking at what's being said and why is it being said. And that's the difference where it's like, I don't care if you yell it at me. Okay. That's not what I'm focused on. Okay, I am paying attention to the elevation because I'm examining it. Like, are you just being excited? Are you getting aggressive? Because I need to know how to respond, how to react if I need to escalate my response or be in a defensive stance.
Hmm.
So I'm examining it from that. But the goal is always still to resolve the issue. Like, let's get to some type of, okay, you done got that shit out your system now. Okay. So so where we at with it? So I do, like I'm cool. Like I rock with you through your mood swing, through your bipolar shit. You know what I mean? Because I might have a little bipolar every now and then. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm like, I can't expect for somebody to tolerate mine and I don't tolerate theirs. Okay. So I'm always looking at fairness, balance, right? And I'm also looking at that if I ignore you, then that means I don't want to deal with you at all. So like I don't have nothing. I don't want to be, like if we family and we ignoring each other, I'm not inviting you to the barbecue. you know Like, I don't want to pull up at, you know, grandma's 95th birthday and then you all in my face smiling and shit like you fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll pull up there for grandma and say hi to grandma, but like, don't come over and be like, hey, yeah, I wanted to. Then why the fuck you had to wait all this time? You know? So like, you fake as shit. You just like a raggedy ass person in the street. That's how I look at it. And people be telling me that I'm wrong for looking at it like that. But I'm just like, man, a fuck you is a fuck you.
Whether it's whispered or yelled from the top of a roof.
You know? It's just, am I wrong because I can interpret them? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so like I get penalized for interpreting the fuck yous, you know? Like, what type of shit is that? Is that where we at now? But, you know, but I would rather honesty, you know? I would rather people not do sneaky conniving stuff, you know? Because the sneaky conniving stuff make you really want to
hurt somebody.
Yeah, you know?
Like, it's because that's more painful. Like, it feels sneaky conniving, feels more deceitful, feels more.
It's like you a coward, and you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, am I Masonic, you know, ideals, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a Tyler at the door, man. And you know what I'm saying? So you know what happened to the cowards, man, to the cowards, you know? So I want to chop a head off, plain and simple. That's how I feel about it, you know? So it's I would say structurally, you know what I'm saying? Not operatively, but you know, so but it gives you that feeling. You know, you get that feeling where it's just like damn, you know, like I'm the type of person that hey, can I ask you a question? Like, not cowardly. You know? But if you the type of person that throw rocks to hide your hand, it's like you a whole bitch. You know?
Whole bitch.
Yeah, like you a whole bitch, you know? And then people get mad at you for actually, you know, for identifying it. Like, no, like that is sucker shit. Like that is not
shit.
Like no gender specific thing. That's sucker shit, you know? And it's not stand-upish, you know? It's not upright. It's not respectable, humanly respectable. You know, it's cowardly. It's like, especially when you don't have to do that. When somebody will exemplify, they'll tolerate your foolishness, right? In a communication. Like, let's say I got a homeboy, right? Or homegirl. Let's say I got a homegirl, homeboy, whoever. And we get into a little, you know, disagreement. And they take it all the way up here. They woofing. Woof, 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 woof. And you like, all right, woof, 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 woof. All right. But then when you get done, it's nothing solved, right? Y'all walk away, you know, fuck you too. All right, then, fuck you too. All right, bet. But no bloodshed, just a whole lot of wolf tickets, right? And you might not even have gave the wolf tickets that they gave. You know what I'm saying? You might have just got loud because they got loud because you seen they was getting loud too, right? But then, now, you say, okay, if we talk again, I'm not doing that, you know? Because I don't have no patience for that shit for real. Like, and that means like you have a problem with communication. Okay. So I'm not gonna put myself back in that situation. Like, somebody else can come talk to me, get a mediator or something. I don't care. But if you think that that's okay for you to talk to me like that, that shit ain't gonna happen. We not doing that, you know? Because I might smack the shit out you. Because you never know what day would, you know, you never know if I'm on my medication or not. Okay. So My thing is like what should happen is then there should be a pause. There should be a break. But somebody have to come back and say, okay, what was the problem? What was going on? And then you have communication where everybody admits their wrongdoing to each other and be forthcoming. And that's the way you can move forward.
Where everybody admits.
Where everybody admits that, you know what I'm saying? Everybody.
Well, I wouldn't have did this if you didn't do that.
None of that.
That's not admitting. That's an omission a little bit.
That's blaming.
That's blaming, right?
That's blaming.
Finger pointing.
You know, if it's sincere, then it's just, I did do some shit. And then I'm the type of person who will crack jokes about shit people did. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I resolve shit. I'm just like, I'm going to start clowning, you know, like, but you can clown me back too. You know, like, I don't dish nothing that I can't take. You know, I'm just not one of them type of people that like try to dish out some shit and then play victim, dog. Like, I don't do that, God. Like, I never been a sucker. Never, not even as a child, I was not a sucker. You know? So, you know, I think that's why looking at the question, like, is being ignored more painful than being openly criticized? You know, to me, I think when you reach the point of being ignored, you know, like it's there, like for a reason. I think unless a person is an attention whore, maybe attention whores hate being ignored. I think attention whores hate being ignored. And I'm not talking about like if you working with somebody. I'm not talking about if you like your scenario. I'm talking about where if it's just like somebody mad at you because you won't talk to them. Somebody mad at you because you won't look at them. Somebody mad at you because you won't entertain them anymore, you know? But the problem with that is do those people acknowledge their why? You know? Do those people acknowledge their why? Like, okay, like why should he? And then if you ain't bothering nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like if you lottie-dottie, you ain't causing no trouble, you ain't bothering the motherfucker, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the problem? You mind your business, I mind my business. You know? So I would prefer to be openly criticized though. I prefer the open dialogue, you know, or just ignore me. Act like I don't exist. That's fine too. Because I do that very well, you know. So for me,
that's true too. That is true too. Like I'm cool with that as well.
Yeah. So for me, like it's no pain. It's no pain in being criticized. For me, it's no pain in being criticized, and there's no pain in being ignored. You know. But I do think people have problems with both. Some people don't like to be talked about openly, you know, but they put themselves in positions to be talked about openly. Some people don't like being ignored, you know, but they put themselves in positions to be ignored. And I think that that's what goes to that taking accountability. What did you know, what you at? What you doing? What did you do? You know, you mad now that somebody is ignoring you or won't talk to you? But you won't even take accountability. You won't even acknowledge, did you put yourself in that situation? Or is that person, you know, using that as a tool to try to, you know, bully you or some foolishness, you know, or anything. Usually if somebody is ignoring you, they could care less about whatever the fuck you got going on.
That's how I give it up.
You know, like they could literally care less. They could give a shit, you know? you would hope that you wouldn't need some real serious help if that person was around, because they might just be like, well, it is fuck me, right? So is this the time I should exercise my fuck you? You know what I'm saying? Like, should I be human?
So when it's fuck me, my phone don't ring for you no more. So
yeah, I'm on that. I'm on that. I'm on that.
Because that's easier. Because I don't. Because I've always been a human. I've been maintaining my humanity this whole time.
I'm just saying.
And because you on demon time, like, nah, I'm good on that. Like, yeah.
So yeah, I think we both good on that, God. Let's go ahead and jump into and jump into these flavor bombs.
Flavor Bombs, presented to you by DBCHEFTV.
Okay, y'all. So tonight on the flavor bombs, we gonna take a little trip down to the DF Dub. Shout out to my boy Q Ball from the Sandbox down there in Dallas Fort Worth, and my best man. His family is down there too. He got some family members that's from down there and stuff like that. His wife's family. They had a brother who is named Tommy Lee Walker. Rest in peace to this brother. He got exonerated 70 years after being executed. Okay? 70 years after being executed. You know, and it's just another sad story of the injustices that were happening, you know, when Jim Crow was Jim Crowing. You know, so anytime that people of the light-skinned version of human feel that we may be too harsh on something, or we may be leaning to something or whatever, you know, I'm cool with all of my friends that are my friends. I don't care what language or complexion they are. All right. But the history of America is America's history. So whether you like it or not, you know, nobody's saying that it was your granddaddy or it was your uncle or whoever, your ancestor. But the history of America is the history of America. So smash the like button. We still love you too. You know what I'm saying? because when black people do fucked up shit out here, you know what I'm saying? We gotta wear that, right?
Hell yeah.
So, you know, join the club, okay? Then we got we're gonna go to LA. We're gonna head to kick it to Long Beach, head out to Venice, not Venice, head out to Long Beach, and we got a story about a nonprofit owner who's stealing from the homeless, y'all. Stole $23 million from the homeless. Instead of doing what he supposed to do, you know, he started doing some other stuff. So we're going to go check that out real quick. And let's go ahead and jump into that.
County commissioners just revisited a 70-year-old murder case because they now believe authorities executed an innocent man. Tommy Lee Walker maintained his innocence right up until he was put to death in the electric chair. And the son who never got to meet him just told Brittany Moncrief this is a moment he's been waiting for.
In this Dallas County courtroom, 1954, 19-year-old Tommy Lee Walker was convicted of the rape and murder of Venice Parker, a white woman. With crowds gathered, Walker awaited his fate. And now 70 years later, just feet away from where he sat,
to see that justice is done,
his son, Edward Lee Smith, still waits.
Growing up without a father, this was hard for me.
Because Edward was born just hours after Venice was murdered near Love Field. A Dallas police officer claimed Venice said a black man was the attacker. And after Tommy Lee was arrested months later, it took an all-white jury less than 2 hours to convict him.
She said, baby, they give your father the electric chair.
Tommy Lee was executed in 1956.
I had to go without a father for 70-some years.
70 years, still fighting for his father's innocence. Journalist Mary Mapes wrote about Tommy's case gaining the attention of the Innocence Project and the Civil Rights and Restorative Justice Project. They say one of the officers involved was a known Ku Klux Klan member. They also say officers arrested Tommy without probable cause, suppressed evidence, and used interrogation techniques that led to a false confession, which Tommy later recanted.
Jim Crow was Jim Crowing.
I feel that I have been tricked out of my life.
Dallas County Criminal District Attorney John Crezeau argued before county commissioners that Tommy was wrongfully convicted. And in a unanimous decision,
the Dallas County Commissioners Court does hereby formally recognize and declare that Tommy Lee Walker was wrongfully convicted and executed.
I mean, he knew his father was innocent, but now it's public. That stain has gone away.
And also celebrating in the courtroom,
Try not to make the same mistake again.
was Venice's son, Joseph Parker.
This is my new friend. I was talking about you.
Though both lost parents tragically, it's justice that brought them together.
Love everybody. In spite of what happened to my father, I still love people.
In Dallas, I'm Brittany Moncrief.
What you got, God?
I'm gonna ignore.
What part?
My thoughts, because I don't have forgive and forget in my head right now. Right?
He just gonna ignore all his thoughts. Not on the show, God. We gotta exchange insights.
Yeah, that's it was
the thoughts.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. When I first saw that, the 70 years made me think so long ago. When I just seeing it, just seeing it, just 70 years. I know that's people. Let me finish. When I see 70 years, I automatically like, oh man, that's a whole long time ago. That's like slavery was so long ago, right? All the stuff was so long ago. But then when he said 56, I'm like, yo, my dad was born in 58, right? My dad about to be 70, right? That's what I be saying, like, I don't know, man. Oh man. And for this to be my new best friend, like, I don't know, that's I'm having a hard time right now.
I get it. I'm gonna pass the mic. You pass the mic. You finished? Are you finished?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, all right, God. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel you though. I know it's a lot for my brother. I know it's a lot. I already knew. I knew it was triggering when I found the clip. I said, I wonder what you're gonna do. But I ain't know it was gonna catch you off guard. I apologize, God. But it's fucked up. It's all the way fucked up. And you know, shout out to the veteran, to the son. He was born without his father.
Man.
His father was killed, wrongfully executed by the state, lied on, tried by a jury and everything, convicted, whole process, money spent, like a whole investigation, bullshit ass investigation, clearly. And you know, and he had to go through all of that. And see, this is why I be talking about people being proud to be niggas. See, it's that right there. It's stuff like that. Why being a good, if you gonna put black on front and black in front of it, being a upstanding black man or black woman is what we should be striving for. Because that's the shit that our peoples had to go through back in the day. And only a nigga sit up here, that wasn't my folk, that wasn't my kinfolk, I don't know that nigga. That was they folks. But you probably got somebody in your family who had to go to a back of a bus. You probably had somebody in your family who had to go to a back door, who had to go to a coloreds only water fountain, or to a coloreds only diner, or to something like that. You probably got somebody in your family that has experienced American history.
American history.
Because it's not that old.
It's
And
current history.
And that's why I understand, like, it's not even a century. We're not even 100 years removed. So I get why it's so many people proud to be niggas still, because the traumas and the effects are still lingering. So I get it. You know, I ain't with it, because each and every day, what did God say? We have an opportunity to be a better version of ourselves. But this was such a sad story, you know, and shout out to their family, prayers to their family,
Man.
you know, that they finally got justice after 70, he said 70 some odd years. He said like he didn't want to tell his age.
No, I'm saying.
You know, but if he 56 though, we could pretty much tell like that's 70 years. So, you know, it's like come on, bro. You know, and the old cat, the son of the woman who got killed, she never got justice. She got murdered and never got justice either.
Facts. And that's what I'm saying. Like justice ain't been served
At
right?
all.
Like this can't be your best friend, because his mom's killer is still out there probably killing. Right? He can't be happy that at least your dad is off.
Right. Ain't nobody can, you know, like who killed my mama?
Who killed my mother? Like, what we talking about? Man. Yeah, that was triggering.
Yeah.
That was triggering.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's get into this next story, y'all. We're gonna head out to Long Beach. Kick it out there with nah, Uncle Snoop ain't around here. Uncle Snoop ain't nowhere around this dog pound. None of them.
A charity director from Westwood has been arrested after federal authorities say he stole millions slated to help the homeless.
They say he lined his pockets instead. KTLA 5's Corrine Winter live in the newsroom with the details. Corrine.
Well, Sam and Glenn, the Homelessness Fraud and Corruption Task Force announcing this huge arrest today. Officials say that the executive director at the center of this case misused taxpayer funds intended to help some of LA's most needy individuals. He's accused of living the high life to the tune of $23 million instead of using public and taxpayer funds to help the homeless. That's according to federal and local officials who this morning arrested 42-year-old Alexander Sufer of Westwood at his multi-million-dollar home.
He lied to investors.
What a piece of shit at his multi-million-dollar home. And you know what's crazy about this though, guys?
Crazy guy.
You know, like because you know, I have veteran friends that volunteer for homeless, and you know, and do so many things for the homeless. They care, and it don't even be about homeless vets, you know, like that's one other aspect, but it's just about people destitute, displaced. And it's just like he ain't even that. Oh, he 42. He 42. They took him on 23 M's. Like cutting yourself, whatever you cut, whatever you couldn't pay yourself enough. Out of that, even if it's all the monies are grants and things like that, there is money allocated for you to be able to pay yourself.
Investigators, when confronted, he provided fake invoices to make it appear that the payments to third vendors were legitimate. They were not.
Sufer is the executive director of the charity Abundant Blessings and was given tens of millions of dollars in funds between 2018 and 2025 to feed and house roughly 600 individuals across the greater LA area. That meant providing 3 nutritious meals a day. Instead, the assistant U.S. attorney Bill Asaley alleges Sufer gave them this, microwavable ramen.
This is what he was providing. Ramen noodles.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, God. Like if they homeless, where they microwaving at?
Look at the microwave. Where is that?
Where is that? That's not gotta be at 7-Eleven somewhere. Or not even a 7-Eleven.
It's a portable microwave?
Is that what that is?
They might got they do got portable kitchens, you know, you got stuff like that, portable kitchen. But this, I don't know what this is, but this just looks horrible. For 23 million, this don't look like 23 million. This don't look like 12 million, half of the money. Even if half of the money was used to facilitate, I mean, you could give me 12 today. Okay? And I'll take 1 million out of pocket, okay, pay myself for the next 4 years out of that 1 mil, all right, and take the whole other 11, and we'll have a top class facility, you know, with trucks and vans and everything. We going out, and I'm talking about we giving, you know,
23 M's, like you ain't care about nobody or nothing. It's like, oh, this is a lick. I can take advantage of these people. They don't matter. These humans don't matter. Wow.
And a microwave. And he was pocketing the rest of the money. The money was not intended for ramen noodles to be microwaved and fed to the homeless. He was supposed to provide nutritious meals. He pocketed the rest of the money. He probably spent $100 you see in that picture, and he pocketed the rest of the money.
Investigators provided photos of some of the high
that shit don't even look like $100.
No, now we talking ramen noodles. They're like 10 cents a piece.
Back in the day, they was 10 cents a piece. To show you how long you done had your bread up. I don't think they 10 cents a pack no more, God. You know what I'm saying? But it shows you how long I done had my bread up too, because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Like
we go to ramen shops these days, you know what I'm saying?
It's no more ramen in the clutch. I get angel hair. I buy it when it's on sale. You know, like I got packs of angel hair pasta in the cupboard, you know, in the pantry. Like, you know, I didn't step no more time. It's too much salt in that anyway. Like that ain't good. And I grew up on it. I got tired of it, you know. So we ain't knocking it, because I just talked to my little cousin today and she was whipping up some top ramen. You know what I'm saying? Because it was too snowy out there to go DoorDash or something. So, you know, but she ain't received $23 million, and you know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. And this piece of work right here.
items Sufer got for himself and family, including the purchase of a $7 million Westwood home, a $125,000 Range Rover, luxury vacation trips to places like Hawaii and Florida. Other expenses included private school tuition for his kids and a nearly $500,000 vacation home in Greece. Sufer allegedly lied to the Los Angeles Homeless Service Authority on how he was directing the money.
This is a case full of lies, deceit, and pilfering money intended on addressing one of the most prolific problems in Los Angeles County.
There is not just a federal investigation, but one at the local level that District Attorney Nathan Hochman outlined. The DA's office conducted an independent parallel investigation with the U.S. Attorney's Office, with both having overlapping jurisdiction in this case. At the federal level, Sufer is facing wire fraud charges. At the local level, his charges include forgery, where he faces up to 17 years in prison.
Rather than admit that he did something wrong and hand the money back, he doubled down on his crimes. First stating that he actually provided this money. Then he tripled down on his crimes, submitting fake invoices. And when he's confronted by the auditors about the fake invoices, he quadruples down and submits different fake invoices.
Officials say they've investigated 2 other alleged fraud cases regarding funds meant for the homeless that were misused, with these defendants also facing steep charges.
So look at these pieces of shit out here taken from the homeless, and look how much money though is available for programs to feed the homeless. So what I'm interested in is why the churches don't have some grant writers but I don't know if churches put people through school anymore, or hey, if you got a niece or a nephew or a son or a daughter, put them through school, tell them to take a grant writing course. It seems like there's a lot of money to go out and do some community work here
without actually having to do the community work.
Like that's a lot of chicken right there.
To just literally just asking for money, right? You just literally write letters saying, hey.
I mean, did they fucking off? Look at that. 23, 25. That's a 50 piece right there.
Yeah.
Then we got 16. I mean, come on, like damn.
And they got 16 like it's a low number, right? But 16 mil.
But they got plus. They ain't even investigated all the rest of it. The change. So it's just like, man, like it's crazy. It's crazy. We live in a crazy world that people just will do anything for a damn dollar, man. And it's like he had the Range Rover, he had the house in Greece, he had the $700,000. I'm just like, damn, even that $2 million gives you, for 4 years, $500,000 a year.
Yeah, but he can't go on luxury vacations and put the kids through private school and get a place in Greece off of $500,000.
Yes, you can. It's called credit.
You 100% can actually.
Yes, you can.
You 100% can actually.
Then he got to pay the tuition for the babies. That's cash. They ain't taking no credit for that, But the homes though, like he didn't need the $500,000 home in Greece. They ain't even show that. We don't know what that looked like. And did he need the $700,000 home where he was?
No, I drove with $7 million.
$7 million home. Yeah, did he not $7 million home?
$7 million is what they said, God.
$7 million home. Did he need the $7 million home? That's the thing. He could have had a $700,000 home off the $500,000 salary, right? And been straight. And the baby still could have went to private school.
Off that same money, actually, yeah.
Off that same bread.
Yeah.
But he got greedy.
Probably started off greedy.
Had to be. I'm like, how do you not think that you're not gonna get caught? Like you a non-profit. And you're not even doing the work.
Not even, that's what I'm saying. Like, you just gotta write letters. And
I know a grant writer, and they told me before, they said the number one reason why these people who have these nonprofits get in trouble is because they don't do what they're supposed to do with the money. That's the number one reason. They don't follow the grants.
Kind of like those PPP loan people.
Well, they just fraud. Like the difference between them and them is like you could have a nonprofit and you could be getting all the grants. You just have to do the work. The PPP people did not even have businesses. They just went and started a business and just was lying. Like that shit was just completely fictitious. Nothing. It's they're giving out free money with no checking the paperwork, no checks and balances. Yeah, I got a business. Give me some money.
Let me go to jail.
You ain't get your PPP money yet? Like, it's sad, man. So, fuck him.
Yeah, all three of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And salute to the family of Tommy Lee Walker. We glad it took 70 years, but the brother finally got justice, not even here. You think might even be alive, might even have survived prison all these years to be able to finally come home and don't even get that. So that is a very sad story, but the link will be in the description for both of those stories. Y'all can go and check them out a little bit further. But
You've just been Flavor Bombed, and now back to our show. You've just been Flavor Bombed, and now back to our show.
Yep, 2 times. So if you just joining us, y'all, we've been smoking on the word ignore tonight. And we've been going over our questions, and we are at our 5th question. Is the word ignore bad, good, or misunderstood? The God Ali Dawoodell at BK Soul Farm. What you got, God?
It's good. I like the word. I like the definitions of the word, and I don't really hear or see people using it enough for me to say that I think they're misusing it. So yeah, I think it's good. I like it.
Yeah, I think people have just started saying "fuck it" more than just,
Yeah, right.
right. instead of man, just ignore that. You know,
Say fuck it, right? Or they say
Yeah.
YOLO, or they say a whole bunch.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's stupid too. Yeah,
Say a bunch of stuff.
like everybody only lives once, dummy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know. But are you living though? Are you living, or are you just surviving or
Yeah.
struggling? You know, because it's a difference between living, you know, and struggling and surviving. What do you? I ignore certain things. I ignore ignorance so that way I can live. You know, because I know I'm only living once. That's all we got. But definitely, bad, good, or misunderstood, man. I got. I'm gonna say misunderstood.
All right.
I'm gonna say misunderstood. Because we saw 2 things here tonight. We saw to forgive and forget. And in forget and forgiving, there are things that it's wild that there's the duality in ignore of forgive and forget. And culturally, just socially in American culture, like, you know, we're taught for people to say, you know, you can forgive, but you can't forget. But nobody never correlates it to just ignore.
Today was my first time seeing that.
You know, and that was my first time too. Like it's always our first time with these words, because like we always say, like we not the gurus, and there's no right or wrong thing because we don't know either. Like we going off out some meanings of our words, but that's why we do this, y'all, to become betters, appliers of these words that were taught to us, that we're required to use, and that we don't use sometimes, like that we just forget because people act like people don't have a vocabulary, and they use the words that are comfortable, you know, in their circle of friends. When you don't have friends that step outside of your normal space, then you'll become like they say, a product of your environment. So if nobody else around you is using any other words or anything, introducing this stuff into you, into your daily communication, then you will never grow.
Yeah.
You never grow. You stay stuck on what you stuck on. So that's why I'm going with misunderstood, because of the duality in the forgive and forget, and it being a part of ignore. Like I just never would have guessed that forgive and forget would be the only 2 synonyms that they give in ignore. You know, because how we use ignore is different from forgive and forget. But it makes sense you know, like when we was going through the context, it makes sense of how, yeah, okay, but you're just not knowing that that's ignoring. So that's why I say it's misunderstood. But you know, y'all let us know what y'all think. Is the word ignore bad, good, or misunderstood? And we had 5 questions tonight, like we always do, y'all. What do you think of when you hear the word ignore? What are some things that society tells us to ignore that we probably shouldn't? What do cultural backgrounds shape? Pardon me. Do cultural backgrounds shape what we're taught to ignore versus confront? Is being ignored more painful than being openly criticized, and why? And last but never least, is the word ignore bad, good, or misunderstood? Y'all let us know in the comment section below. And yeah, that's all we got for y'all tonight. Make sure to head on over there to bksoulfarm.com and pick up your copy of 1016-160 Self-Sustainability by the God Ali Dawood El. It's available right now. Go get you one. Prices is looking crazy. I told this story the other day on Brunch with the Fellas that my wife had went to the dollar store and she was like, came home and was like, babe, it ain't $1.25 no more. It's $1.50. So you need to go grab that right there, because if we think that it's $1.50 today
At the dollar store.
And then, you know, a year from now or 2 years from now, they're going to be $2 or $3 or no more $1 store, you know, then you're sadly mistaken. Because just think about, no matter how old you are now, think about how much money how much stuff you could buy with $1 when you went to the store when you was 10. And if you're 10 times 3 at least, or 10 times 2.5, if you're 25, you know, you know, it is not the same price no more. That you're gonna need more dollars. Okay.
Especially 10 times down there 5.
Exactly. You know, and that is going to continue to increase. If gas ain't the same price, what they call them now, Paw and Nana them, and you know, and Grandma and Granddaddy. If it ain't the same price it was when they was young, then guess what? When your babies or you get if you lucky to get to their age, it ain't gonna be the same price then, and it ain't finna be cheaper. It's gonna be more. Okay.
Yo, God, saying that, I just thought about something. So me and my parents, we can share a commonality where we both had penny candies, right? Like my mother can have a story about going to the store to get penny candies. I got a story about going to the store to get penny candies, right? My children ain't got no stories about penny nothing.
No.
Like they like our childhood, and it was like so different.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's gonna be $2-3, and they're gonna still call it the dollar store, right? They're just gonna mean dollars, just not.
Yeah, it's gonna be the dollars store. Don't even worry about the Dollar General. It's just generally bring some dollars. You know, yeah, just you know, it might be a general on front of them by that time or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and y'all don't forget to check out the DBCHEFTV win $1,000 cash. We got a win $1,000 cash. Post your merch to win giveaway going on right now. Contest giveaway. Check out the rules. Head on over to DBCHEFTV on IG, Facebook, Twitter, and check that out, y'all. Links in the description. And good luck to everybody who participate. You know, hopefully you that lucky winner. Don't let me get to 310 and I get to keep my stack. You know. You know, unless somebody, I ain't bluffing. We got it. You know, we got it ready for you. You know, on the Cash App, we can send it right to you. You know, and all you gotta do is take a picture of your merch and then share it and tell everybody to help you win $1,000. Tell them to help you, help me, help us share and win together. Okay? Because I could take the, because what I want to do is I want to continue this, y'all, with everybody who pull up and who be supporting the channel and who rock out with us. That's what I want to do. You know, I want to make sure that we sharing within our community with each other. Okay? So that's my goal. If not, if I'm unsuccessful, then I'm just going to take it and give it to, you know, the tech guys. So that way they can do the thing. You know, that's what I'll do with it. Because y'all don't want it. So purchase anything. And like we said, links in the description. And if money's tight, it's all right. We still gonna love you if you just smash the like. So don't be somebody who wouldn't lift a finger to help nobody, you know, unless you wanted them. And if you wanted them, then hey, God bless you. Still, we still want you to win
all day. All
right. Everybody, make sure to have a peaceful, positive, and productive start to your week. If you up there in the cold, you know, somewhere up in the northeast, northwest, wherever they at, wherever all this snow at, you know, we're praying for y'all. Y'all be safe, stay warm. And if you're in the south, you know, then that's how we do it, baby. It's always sunshine. It's always sunshine. You know, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Goddamn. It's a beautiful thing. But that's all we got for y'all. Until next time, I'm Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, always with the God Ali Dawood El at BK Soul Farm, and we are the Cigarden Panel. Peace, y'all. Peace, God.
Peace, God.
This whole publication is all about going from nowhere to somewhere, right? Being able to stand on something so that you can travel in peace, right? So bksoulfarm.com, 1016 160 self-sustainability. Jump on the list and get yourself together, right? Because it is irresponsible to not even know what responsibility means. So get yourself together, food, clothing, and shelter, protection of that, support your interests, and live.
Post your DB Chef TV merch to your social media and enter to win $1,000 cash. That's right, $1,000 cash. Must be 18 years old or with parental consent. See contest rules for full details. Visit the DB Chef TV gift shop and post your merch to win.
Love ain't always easy, and we won't stop until we get it right. So bring that ass to the Love Speak podcast. Subscribe today and let your love speak at TLS Podcast. The Love Speak, now streaming on YouTube.
If it's Friday night and you don't have a date, then brunch with the fellas is your spot, so don't be late. We go up at 9 p.m. with the trending topic news. Smash the like, comment, subscribe, and share the content. Don't be rude at Brunch Fellas, now streaming on YouTube.
Exchange insights Sundays at 8 p.m. East Coast time with the Cigarden Panel. Smoking on words like two big nerds. Hosted by DBCHEFTV and BK Soul Farm at Cigar Sundays on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so when they go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live.
You are the key to your financial freedom. So unlock your inner wealth with financial fundamentals at Bows on the Table. Subscribe today and never miss a meal at Bows Podcast. Bows on the Table, now streaming on YouTube.
At the Veteran Kettle Podcast, we thank you for your service, support, and sacrifice to our country. Listen to real stories of adversity and triumph as we give our best to honor our vets. Subscribe today and watch episodes now streaming on YouTube at TVK Podcast, The Veteran Kettle.
Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at dbcheftv.com.